Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of the Crowdsourced challenge. It's time to spin the wheel of rules once again, find out what the new rule is. Of course, we've got to buy 4 animals today. Already have the animals pre-selected. I don't have them in-game just yet, so we'll be doing that at the very start of the in-game segment of the episode. But let's see what new fresh hell is being released upon me as we spin the wheel. And the new rule is... that pinged up to no GPS, but because it deleted the no fieldwork after sunset rule, I can kind of understand why. So, oh god. That's kind of convenient because it's... Oop. I've just realized I need to get into the Google Doc, but it's hidden in behind this window. That's kind of convenient, but at the same time painful. So I'll be in game, I'll see you guys in there. Alright, so, no working after sunset. That's gonna make some interesting problems. Also, this is take like 6 of this video. I'm beginning to get frustrated. As usual in the comments, leave rule suggestions. And also in the comments today, could you let me know how my voice sounds? Because I am still being reasonably quiet just because it's a bit more comfortable. And I've got my mic set up to deal with that in its normal place. So just let me know how everything sounds today. So it's off to the shop we go. And I want to buy a few things over here. Also, there's no must walk at one times rule, so hooray! I want to buy a few things over here. First off, let's buy Husqvarna. Let's buy a mower here with get street tires and a front loader because I might want to use the front loader at some point. I also want to buy Fleagle DPW car trailer. I won't put anything on it, so just purchase that. That looks nice. And we'll get the oh, I also want to buy, because I forgot it in all the previous takes, some of which were in one save, some were in a different save, some were in a third save, and it's just a pain today. A water trailer. Hopefully this won't bug out. Last time I tried this, my game wigged out big time, so I'm hoping it doesn't. So the animal we're going to buy, because we do need to buy 4 animals, is over here. We're going to buy 4 sheep. And no rule against buying animals from this infinite buy point for animals, so... you can see where me abusing the rules is coming in, and me kind of hinting at other rules you can suggest as well. So this thing has a 5-litre capacity. I need to unfold the mower. And away we go. Now the reason I'm not using the Profi Hopper is because I've been using the Profi Hopper a lot, and I kind of felt like I've been there, done that with the Profi Hopper. I think that it's kind of fun to use something that's a hell of a lot slower, and whoops. You can see that this does leave grass on the ground if I so wish. It's kind of fun to use something that's a hell of a lot slower and with a much smaller bagging capacity, and it's a lot smaller too. It's something that you might actually see mowing in Ireland, so I feel like it's okay to use this. And we're going to use this to feed the sheep, which is hilarious and dumb. I will agree with you guys on that, because I know somebody's going to say, you wouldn't really feed sheep at this day. Well, yes, but you also wouldn't really feed sheep grass like this. They'd just be left out in the meadow. So I can counter your argument with a counter-argument of, well, it's unrealistic to begin with, so the exact method I use, by definition, can be unrealistic. Or, by very definition, is unrealistic, because I shouldn't need to do this. I'm also going to turn on 4-wheel drive and diff locks, because I feel like this mower would have these on constantly. Also just saves me bother of turning it on and off at random. How goes the grip on this thing? Oh, I've got it stuck. Quite, as it turns out. Because in real life, you'd put a mower on a 70 or 80 degree slope like that, and it'd last just fine. You wouldn't fall off it, and it wouldn't slide, and none of that had happened. No, I'd just sit there and not really give a damn. I've got it stuck again. Oh, I've got it. I think I might actually have it stuck this time. Let's try. Oh, this lifts the mower ever so slightly. That's okay. I like the fact that the mowing deck itself has collisions. Because that's something that I didn't expect. I didn't know about. And maybe you're not supposed to know that the mowing deck itself has collisions that can affect how this behaves. Not a big fan of this thing beeping when it's nearly full, but it's something I'll deal with. And the reason that I'm mowing here is just to kind of neaten up the... Well, number one, to neaten up the grass at the front of the shop. And number two, because, well, I need to get grass from somewhere. This doesn't seem to have a horn, which is a bit of a shame. I feel like this mower should have a horn, even though it wouldn't in real life. It also doesn't seem to have indicators of any description. No, it doesn't. Okay, this thing isn't road legal. I probably shouldn't be driving it down the road, but oh well. We'll just empty it out here. And of course the emptying animation is just the bag lifting up, which it would be in real life. In real life you'd probably grab the bag and give it a hoist. Now the original plan was to mow from the sheep field itself, but I felt like that was a bit silly. So I feel like this is kind of the better of the two options that I had. Even though it's still silly mowing from from the shop and bringing it over to the sheep, but it's less silly. It's the less dumb option that I had available to me. Plus, at least the shop's going to look nice and presentable for the summer. It's going to have nice short grass, all ready to go for the busy summer season. I have added a few new rules to the Wheel of Fortune, which, by the way, and I'm surprised nobody's tried to call me out on this, is 100% random. I'm surprised nobody's called me out on that wheel for rigging it or something, which I could weight things, but I'm not going to. It's part of the fun of this for me is it being completely random and me genuinely not having a clue what the next rule is going to be. Crumble hinted at in yesterday's stream that I was talking to him yesterday before I was streaming and talking about the wheel and my plans, and I did tell him that I was going to have sheep because in my eyes, number one, the sheep are the best animal. Well, pigs are the best animal to have in farm sim. But sheep are a close second because you need to take very little care of them. You need to just throw grass at them. You're always going to have grass on a map. And all they need is grass and water. They're really easy to take care of on short notice. Now, moving on towards autumn and winter, and specifically winter, I'm going to need to have more hay available as a direct result of having the sheep. So I'm going to need to be aware of that. I'm going to need to, have extra hay available, as well as I'm going to have to have even more hay available than usual, which basically means I'm not going to be selling any bales anytime soon, because if I'm adding 4 new animals every Friday, and I'm doing it in real time and not in game time, it means that there could be a few in-game days where I buy 8 animals if I go down to 1 times time acceleration or 0 times time acceleration. So yeah, the animals are going to kind of pile up fairly quickly, and I'm going to need to have kind of stocks available for whatever animals I want to buy. And I could have bought pigs. That was kind of idea number 1, because I could then buy just pig food and just deal with them that way, pig food and water, and that would have been a really good option as well. But I figured that the better option would be to buy a mower, because it gives me something to do in the summer when I've got kind of a bit of downtime, something to do in the spring when I've got a bit of downtime, apart from like early spring, And something to do in the autumn when I've got downtime, which I doubt I'll have any, much downtime in the autumn period, but you never know. So having the mower just allows me to kind of do a few extra things, maybe do a bit of lawn care around Shamrock Valley, stuff like that, you know, mow in front of the shops, in front of Gipsy Hill stores, mow in front of the dealership, go down to town or around the port and mow down there, take care of the garden and the cow meadow, you know, stuff like that, and take care of the yard as well. So I figured the mower was probably the best option because it's a bit more flexible than a big bag. Even though in reality, a big bag's quite flexible, mower's not so much. You can't, you know, fold a mower up and shove it in your pocket. Big bags you probably couldn't either, but you could try. If you got a big pocket, you could probably do it. You can't really do that with a lawnmower. Especially not a ride-on lawnmower like this thing, because, I mean, it's got an engine and blades and a mowing deck and a steering wheel and a solid seat. You're not exactly going to fold that. I mean, you can bring it around on a trailer, which is my plan. That's how I plan on getting it back to the yard. Because I am going to strive to keep everything around the yard, and this is going to go pretty much into the same place Landy's got it. Because yes, I am aware Landy Kid's got this more on Shamrock Valley as well, although I think he's just using it as kind of a comedy vehicle. I don't think he's using it as a lawnmower, from what I understand, and from what I've seen. I'm the only one crazy enough to actually decide to use this as an actual piece of machinery around the map, because I guess I'm the only one crazy enough to come up with things for it to do. You know, this I can see a lot of uses for. Especially with its turning circle, which is realistic to a ride-on lawnmower. You'll notice I say that. And I know that. Because I've driven a ride-on lawnmower before. So this is something I can actually say with certainty instead of just guessing. Haha. Even the feel of the wheel is about right. That thing had power steering and I had no idea what it was trying to tell me. Well, it wasn't trying to tell me anything, and I was so young when I did it that I didn't really know that you could feel things through the wheel of a vehicle. Now that I've driven a real car a couple of times and a real go-kart a few times, yeah, the steering feel is incredibly just useful. There are a couple of rules, by the way, that say that I have to use indicators. Obviously, those rules won't be in effect when I'm using this. I say rules. Rule suggestions that I need to use indicators. I obviously can't use them when I'm using this because it has no indicators. You can hear me trying to turn them on. There's no indicators. There's no beacon. So any rules about beacons and indicators... oh, it's full. Any rules about beacons and indicators won't be in effect with this, just because they can't be in effect with this. Yeah, when I turn on the indicator, nothing happens because this thing doesn't have indicators because it's a lawnmower. And that actually makes sense. So let's get this back over to the shop so I can bring a tractor down, grab both trailers. I'll grab the water trailer first because that's what I'm going to need first off. I could in theory get the front loader for this and load up a trailer load of grass, but I don't see the point in doing that. So let's just turn this off temporarily. We've used 1 litre of fuel. I could, if I wanted to, get the... I'm going to use the Fiat, by the way. I could, if I wanted to, get the fuel extension for that, which gives it an extra, I think, 20 litres of fuel capacity. I'll make a call on that if... I'll make a decision on that based on whether or not I feel like I'm running out of fuel too quickly. I don't think I'll need to, but I might. Because, as everybody knows, in real life, ride-on lawnmowers don't exactly have massive fuel tanks, but they can run for a surprising amount of time. So let's get this hooked up. We'll go over to the main yard and fill this up, because I saw Landy had a few questions in his stream yesterday about where to get water. It might have been yesterday, it might have been the day before, but I'm sure a few people are wondering where on earth do you get water on this map in the yards. So I'll show you guys. Obviously you can grab it from the river if you want to, and that is definitely an option. That's, I think, the free option. But if you want to get some water and you're sitting around the yard wondering where the hell do you get the water, well, you get it from this blue tank right here, which should, yep, the blue tank, the water tank, and it does actually say H2O tank 2. That's from all the way back in FS13, that tank. It's been with us a while and it's still being used. It's still being updated and upgraded, so kind of nice to see that making its way through the games. That used to be a fertilizer trigger. Now it's been converted by Oxy into being a water tank, which makes absolute sense. Some people use it as a fertilizer trigger still. It makes more sense as a water tank because it does say it's a water tank on the side. It was always something that kind of irked me a bit, was that it said it was a water tank, but everybody always had fertilizer in it for some reason. And I'm really glad Oxy decided to be the logical guy to put water in it and to make it a water trigger. So let's give our 4 sheep some water. Do we have a black sheep this time? The last time I bought the sheep, there is a black sheep. The last time there were 2 browns, 1 white and 1 black. This time there's 2 whites, 1 brown and 1 black. So it seems like the sheep colours are effectively random, which is nice to know about farm sim. Something I didn't know. But like I said, this isn't the first time I've recorded this video. Annoyingly, last time my game crashed, which I have no idea why it did. It seemed like my graphics driver just pooped itself. Something that hasn't happened before. But obviously I've got my game running again. I've got my settings back where I'm reasonably happy with them, and I have fulfilled the rules. Maybe not in according to the letter, but according to, well, maybe not according to the spirit, I should say, but according to the letter. It said I should get 4 animals. Never specified what animals. Had to be of one type. I got 4 sheep because they're the easiest animals to take care of, and I'm probably gonna get more sheep until I can afford to do something else. Also, there's a few rules I have seen conflicting. There's a couple that are like no corn or canola, and then no buying pig food. Those rules directly conflict because I believe you need, I'm gonna double check this, I believe you need corn or canola for the pigs. Yeah, this here, right here, canola, sunflower, soybeans. If the I must have pigs rule comes in, or I can't use bought feed rule comes in, I'll have to exclude the no corn or sunflowers or canola rule or soybeans, because that just wouldn't make sense. There's another rule, no potatoes or sugar beet, that wouldn't make, you know, that's where conflicting rules would have to be removed, just because it would make things unplayable, because I do want to have all the animals. I know there's no rule saying that I have to, but that's just my own personal preference there coming in. I'd like to have all the animals on Shamrock Valley. I'd like to do as much as I possibly can on the map. And if rules come in that means something becomes impossible, like having pigs, then I will just kind of ignore rules. Straight up ignore rules, or just remove them from the list of possible rules that I'm keeping. I do have, and even rules from episode 1 are still being selected. I think the 4 animals is actually from episode 1, from the first episode, from where I told you guys at first to pick random rules for me. So just more and more rules, more and more will be added to the wheel, and the more evil they are, the more scared I am of them. And there's some that I'm really quite scared of. because they just become very difficult to... There's some that I haven't figured out ways around yet. So if one of those comes up, I'll have to make a very quick decision on how to get around it. So let's get this up onto the trailer. Ah! The mowing deck appears to be stuck. Right. We're going to do this a bit of a different way. Instead of being all nice and gentle, we're just going to go for maximum speed, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to get up. Tried doing that the nice way, and the game said, no, you can't do that the nice way, you've got to do it the dumb way. So as to get this back to the yard, I'm going to keep the trailer somewhere separate from the mower, because I'm going to want to have the mower out and about a bit more, I think, than the trailer. The trailer's basically just for the use of this mower, so that I can move it around, so I'll keep it somewhere safe, but I won't keep it with the mower itself, because I think there's some bits of the yard that I might want to mow. Like looking right here, I do actually want to at some point mow, you know, the outside bits of the yard here, and even in around the slurry pit and stuff, just to kind of neaten it up. Because I'm that kind of person. And of course we can bring it into the garden and do some mowing. It's a bit big for the garden, but we could use it. In fact, I might do that right now. Let's do some mowing of the garden of the house, why not? There we go. Is there a bale still point here? No, so I'd have to do some, I'd have to figure out some way of getting rid of the grass. I got a couple of ideas, but I'm not going to put them into action just right now. I could throw it into the silage bed, actually. I might do that, just use the grass as random extra silage. But let's get into... Is there a way into the house with a vehicle, actually? Because if not, then I can't even do this. Is there no... Hang on. Is there no way into the house without... Wow. Okay, Oxy. You really have thought of everything this time, haven't you? There's no back entrance. That's incredibly well thought out. I know that I'm just kind of cheating my way through a bush here, but it'll do. Can I fit the Husqvarna through that gate? Oh, please tell me I can fit the Husqvarna through the gate. Oh yeah. We can mow the lawns. Things Oxy never thought would happen on this map. Dave managing to get into the house with a lawnmower to mow the lawns. Also Dave attempting to bring a class, a Cat Challenger 300, or sorry, a Challenger 300, Challenger 900 even, around the map, and then getting the suggestion from Mr. OxygenDavid himself to try bringing it down to Scatterbrook Farm, where it then fit perfectly. Also, perhaps for some of you guys, Dave actually driving at a slow speed and somewhat logically. There we go. I think I just want to dump the grass like over here somewhere, just so that it's out of the way and so that I can use it for something else if I want to at some point later. This is where farm sim kind of falls apart, because apparently all the grass that's behind the mower fit into the teeny tiny bag on the back. That's where farm sim kind of I know this is a mod, but I don't like how the grass works, and the straw and hay have the same problem, where they just like magically compact in vehicles, but then when you put it out on the ground, it's this ridiculously huge pile that makes no sense. Also, I realized that in real life, this house, and if you lived here, you wouldn't have a ride-on lawnmower to do this. You would not even think of getting a ride-on lawnmower for a lawn this small. You just have a, you know, a push mower, because it would make a lot more sense. Because this is a very small lawn, and the lawn at my house is bigger than this, and we have a push mower. I'll put it that way. This is a completely pointless endeavor. There is no benefit to doing this whatsoever. Also, hang on. They're hedges put vertically. I would never have thought of doing that. GG, Oxy, you absolute madman. So let's get the lawn done here. Just being good little boys and girls and making sure the house is all neat and tidy, including the lawn. Also giving me something to do with the Husqvarna. At this point, seeing as we're coming up to the end of the video, I wonder how many people have commented on the video saying that I'm copying Landykid or Daggerwind with having a lawnmower like this. I'll be very interested in seeing the comments, because I know both of them are using something similar. I know Landy's using this exact one. I got the link from his mod list. So yeah, I'm copying him in so much as I've got this more, but as far as I'm aware, I'm using it for completely different reasons. Mainly because I'm using it. As for Daggerman, I have no idea what he does ever, so... Let's get this around to the back garden, I guess. I'd consider this the back garden because it's much smaller, even though, fun fact, my house here, the front garden is the small one, but it's got the garden shed, which is usually an indicator of being the back garden, so. Also, it's got the barbecue, which you just wouldn't have in a front garden ever. Not in Ireland or the UK, anyway. Although I do think the people who have barbecues in Ireland are a bit crazy, because I mean they're expecting a nice sunny day at some point in Ireland, famous for rain and whining about the weather. That's the lawnmower full again. And I think within the video here, I am actually going to continue mowing the lawn off camera, because I'm finding this quite relaxing and therapeutic. So if ever you see this lawnmower out and about on the map, not in its little shed, which I am going to use the little carport beside the house there, if ever you see it not there, it means that I've got bored one night and decided to start doing some lawn mowing, or got really angry and decided to do a bit of lawn mowing, because I always find it really calming. Because I don't need to think, it's just, yeah, drive the lawnmower for a bit. It's boring, yes, but it's also kind of therapeutic. I'm going to end the video here, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'll leave you by saying, I've been RainbowDave, you've been watching the Crowdsourced Challenge on Sandy Bay, Shamrock Valley in Farming Simulator 17. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like below, and don't forget to leave your comments for rule suggestions and, oh yeah, how my voice sounds in your guys' opinion. Until next time, stay safe, and hopefully I won't ever have to do 17 takes with the same video again. Goodbye.